Fed up with growing the same old shrubs in your garden like lilac and pyracantha and cotoneaster? They're great, but if you want to try something different, we've got 6 amazing shrubs you can try from all different parts of the world. Just add so many different features to your garden. Zara microphylla is a really interesting shrub. I've had this one in my garden for 5 years. That's in this garden. I had it in my previous garden. I actually transplanted it from where I used to live. And it's just a gorgeous tree. It's got these incredible little round leaves. And in spring, it's smothered in masses of vanilla scented yellow flowers. It originates from parts of the world like Chile and Argentina. It's hardy down to about minus 15 degrees centigrade, and it can reach about 10 meters tall. It's got a lovely elegant trunk to it here, another lovely straight upright trunk, and it's got this lovely sort of weeping habit, and it's just adding so much joy and texture and an unusual feeling to my garden. It's a tree that I hope to have for many years, and if you want, you can trim it or shape it. In fact, some people even use this particular plant to create bonsai plants. So try this, grow this in your garden. It's great in shade, it's great in full sun, it's great in dappled shade, it's hardy, it's easy to grow. And if you want a plant that originated from Chile or Argentina, but to grow in your garden in the UK, go for a Zara microphylla. You won't regret it. Frangula alnus, aspleniifolia. I've had this for a number of years. In fact, I transplanted this shrub as well from my previous garden, and it's growing really happily here. It's a lovely upright tree, really fine, unusual, feathery, ferny foliage, also known as alder buckthorn. And it has pure white flowers in spring that pollinators absolutely adore. Great for bees. They'll actually buzz around it. They enjoy the lovely nectar that it provides. And it will get to about 2 to 3 meters tall. It's very hardy. And in the autumn, the leaves turn an incredible buttery yellow colour before they finally drop. But you know what? Even in the winter time, this tree looks great because it's got this very wiry sort of structure. And I often find in the winter time, the birds are buzzing around looking for insects and eggs and stuff to eat, to pick off those little branches. And when it's covered in snow or a hoarfrost, for example, it looks really dramatic. And then in the following spring, it comes out again with this wonderful, very finely dissected foliage, flowers again, and just looks amazing. So if you want something unusual, something that doesn't take up a lot of space, grows more upright than outwards, but is going to give a certain charm, is going to look good all the way through the year, try Frangula alnus aspleniifolia. It's a tree you'll really enjoy, and it's a tree you'll have for many years to come. Ugni molinae. It's a strange sounding shrub, but it's a great shrub. It's got a lovely upright habit, evergreen leaves. I found it to be very reliable. I found it to get through quite a lot of winters, even quite cold winters. But it also flowers. It has these lovely nodding heads of pinky white bell-shaped flowers that are covered all over the shrub in summertime. And those flowers turn into a lovely fruit, a fruit called Chilean guava. You can actually eat these fruits. These fruits have got kind of a blackberry strawberry cross flavour to them. And also, the name gives away where it comes from. This originates from Chile and Argentina and that part of the world. And it is just a great shrub. It's a good shrub for a small space as well because it has more of an upright habit than a wide habit. So you can put it in a corner somewhere. Where I've got it here, it gets quite a lot of sun during the day, but also a bit of shade as well. But it's resilient, it's interesting, it's different. It's just an elegant looking shrub, many different features. So if you want to try a shrub that's different, that's from another part of the world, that flowers, that has edible fruit you can actually eat, that are really sweet and enjoyable, try Ugni molinae. It's an unusual, ugly sounding name, but Ugni molinae is a really lovely shrub. Albizia summer chocolate can be a shrub, or indeed it can be a small tree growing 4 to 8 meters tall. It's actually known as the Persian silk tree and originates from Asia. Comes out very late into leaf, so don't panic if you grow this and quite late on it's not in leaf. Don't think it's died. It just comes into leaf very late. It's worth waiting for because when the leaves do come out, they're these lovely ferny, dissected, nicely, neatly cut leaves that start green, and gradually as they unfurl and open out more and more, they become darker and darker until they're almost chocolate coloured leaves. And once this plant matures and it gets older and it gets bigger, in summertime, mid to late summer, has these lovely puffball pink flowers that look wonderful as well. It's got a nice open spreading habit, and I've found this to be quite hardy, even though it comes from quite sort of warm parts of the world. It's got through most winters for me. Each year it gets bigger and bigger by about 9 to 10, 12 inches. So it's sort of not fast growing, not slow growing. It's sort of, kind of just intermediate speed, really, growth rate wise. But if you want to try something different, something unusual, try Albizia summer chocolate. It's a shrub or a tree that you really will adore more and more as time goes by. This is Luma apiculata. I actually bought this in Cornwall 2 or 3 years ago. I saw it growing down there and it looked incredible. It's about to come into masses of white flower. There's just little tiny flower buds on here at the moment, and for weeks and weeks on end it'll flower. It'll be covered in pollinated insects. They adore it. It actually originates from Chile. It's known as the Chilean myrtle, and in Argentina and Chile the fruit is widely eaten and widely enjoyed. It can get up to about 15 meters tall, and it's reasonably hardy as well. It gets down to about -5. I actually got mine through colder temperatures than that. Grow it somewhere very sheltered, very sunny, well drained. As I say, it's got the evergreen foliage, which is nice because all the way through the year this shrub looks interesting. There's always something to look at. I found it to be quite quick growing, and again it's got a nice upright kind of habit. So it's a tree or a large shrub you can actually grow in a small garden. I love the fact that the new stems are bright red as they come through, and even the new leaves at the top are red before gradually become this lovely glossy green sort of colour. So if you want to try again something different, and we're talking about growing shrubs that are different, not run of the mill, try Luma apiculata or the Chilean myrtle. It'll give you joy for year after year after year, and you'll just love the fact that for weeks on end, starting quite soon, we're at the beginning of June now, for weeks on end it'll be covered in those lovely, lovely white flowers, and you'll be really helping the bees and the pollinating insects out by growing this in your garden. Tetrapanax, papyrifer, Rex, easy for me to say. This is stunning, the Chinese rice paper plant. Oh my goodness me. This originates from Taiwan and that part of the world, but it grows in the UK. It gets through most winters. In some winters it's knocked back quite a bit, but it reshoots and it keeps going. And year on year it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. If you want something dramatic, something that's really going to give your garden that jungly, tropical feel, wow, you've got to go for this plant. Huge, great big leaves that just get bigger and bigger as the season goes on. And later in the season, it does throw out flower spikes. Unfortunately, most years in the UK, too late in the season before the frost knocks them back. But you do get them to flower, lovely, great big white spikes of flower. This really does bring drama. This is a plant that wants to be centre stage. That is just going to be a wow kind of plant. You've got this lovely, lovely green colour on top. And then there's kind of this furry kind of indumentum underneath the leaves and along the stems. So this is really, really dramatic. Grow it in full sun, grow it somewhere really, really well drained, and grow it with other plants like I have here, like ferns, for example, or aralias or hostas, again, to create that really wonderful tropical jungle kind of look. So, as I say, if you want something that's a real stunner, go for Tetrapanax, papyrifer, Rex. You won't regret it.